Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 173 of The Meshed Tongue. If you are just visiting and you're not familiar with the content on here, this is an all things running, basically. I was going to say podcast because that was on the top of my mind, but it is just like a video series that we've put together, and basically 174 episodes in. So this is the Meshed Tongue. If you're looking for all things running related, whether it's injury prevention, whether it's product, whether it's kind of helpful hints, whether it's just whatever you're related to in running, you'll probably find it on here. If we haven't got to it yet, you can always send me an email at Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at company5k, and that's company spelled out, and the number 5k.com, like the race, 5k. And I'll be happy to get back to you. And if you've got questions, comments, concerns, if they're broad enough or if they're kind of in general enough that I think a lot of people could get some benefit from, I'll put a video out on them. And if not, if they're just a specific question to you, by all means, I'll get back to you as well. So, my name is Brian. I'm a physical therapist. I've been doing this for 19 years as far as the physical therapy side of things. I've been doing the running side of things since I was 14. I will be 42 next month, if that gives you any time frame as to how long I've been running and why this is a passion of mine. So, today, what I want to talk to you about is something that I think is pretty common, okay? And there's this doubt, this questioning in the mind whether or not A, we're good enough, B, kind of the comparison, the old adage of compare and despair to other runners. There's a lot of discussion out there as to like, well, if you don't run 100 milers, then you're not a runner. If you only run marathons, you're not a runner. If you don't run 5Ks, and so on and so on. People like to compare each other to the race distance that they have chosen, and I think there's a lot of that going on. And if you look on social media, you'll find that same thing. People are, well, I ran a 5K. Oh, okay, 5K is so old school, and now we've got to do these adventure runs and trail races and things like that. And reality is that it's running, right? It's out there. If you have a distance that you want to run or you prefer, great. But what I wanted to talk to you about was this anxiety that I think that comes up, whether it's racing or not racing, or should I race, or can I race, or how much should I run, and these questions really come down to this kind of this thought process, this mental capacity that we have that I think is getting drained when we start asking some of these questions instead of just putting on the running shoes and going out and running. Okay, well, now we've got to know which is the best gear. Do I have the best watch? Do I have this? So what I thought I would do is go through a kind of a 4-step question, which was designed by a woman named Byron Katie that was trying to kind of develop her own questioning system. She's an author and she's written a book. She doesn't really have a classical background in counseling, and yet has kind of come into this realm of counseling because of these questions that she had asked herself. And this book has been very, very helpful to me, but what I thought I would do is kind of put it in the capacity of running in general. I've used it in all aspects of my life, whether it's relationships, business, whatever. But the interesting thing is that when we put it in the context of running, we ask these 4 questions, and I think you'll really find this fascinating. So the 4 questions are, and I'll just read them through, is that the first one you want to ask is it true? So any question that you have, is it true? The second one is, how do you know it's true? The third one is, how do you feel when you have this thought? Okay, and number 4 is, who would you be without that thought? Okay, or how would you feel without that thought? So, as we go through this one running, so is it true? And he said, all right, I'm not fast enough. Maybe I'm not cut out to run. Maybe my body shape isn't designed to be a runner. Maybe, I don't have the best gear. We ask these questions, okay? And we say, well, I'm not seeing results. Is it true? Okay? So that's the first question. Well, ask yourself, is it true? And the second question falls back into that, and it said, well, how do you know it's the truth? And you go, well, I know it's true because I'm not seeing my times getting faster. I'm constantly getting injured. I don't have the best Garmin, or a specific watch or a specific shoe. Okay, and that's perfect, great. I understand. You've got that down. So you figured out, is it true? Yep. How do you know it's the truth? You've listed, XYZ number of reasons. How do you feel when you have this feeling? Okay, you're not good enough, or you're not fast enough, or you're not running the distances that your other counterparts are running. How does that feel? Oh gosh, it makes me feel depressed. It makes me feel hopeless. It makes me feel sad. Okay. Great. So those are all feelings that will sometimes creep into our heads. We just, for whatever reason, we have these feelings. We're having a down day. The number 4 question is, well, how would you feel, or who would you be if you didn't feel this way? And 9 times out of 10, we start feeling, well, I'd feel less, burdened. I'd feel happier. I wouldn't give a rat's about anybody else's thoughts, or whatever anybody else was thinking, or what their training log looked like. I do my own thing. And the reason why this works so well is because usually the end result, okay, is the turnaround. It's the turnaround of how do you turn yourself around and get you out of that, this dark side of things, and kind of go on the upward to feeling better, feeling lighter, feeling like, hey, I don't have this burden. I don't feel depressed. I'm not sad. I don't have to have the best gear. I don't have to have the best training miles. Okay, I'm going to run because I feel better when I do run, and I feel lousy when I compare myself to what other people are doing. I think you can take this into race anxiety, pre-race anxiety. Trying to set a PR. Okay. Again, back to gear. I don't have the best gear. I don't have the time to get the running in that I want. Any number of things. I think anything across the board. These are really kind of open-ended questions that really, if you do the deep work for you, I think you'll really find some benefit for. As I said, I know that it has worked for me in all aspects of my life, and I really thought that as you're looking at this, in specific to running, I really like the concept of asking yourself those 4 questions. And so again, those 4 questions really quickly are: is it the truth? How do I know it's the truth, or how do I know it's the absolute truth? 3, what kind of things do I feel, when I have these feelings? What does it bring out of me? And number 4 is, how would I feel if I turned that around? How would I feel if I got rid of those kind of underlying beliefs that I had about this? And usually this is, most people won't use these for like their happy thoughts. It just doesn't work that way, because most of the times when you're feeling positive, life is good, and you're good with everything. You're like, oh, I got this. I'm gonna run my PR. I'm good. It's usually when you're questioning things that I think that this really has the impact. Kind of, like I said, do that deep work that you're really looking to kind of get through. So. This is episode 174. The book you can reference is a book called Loving What Is by Byron Katie. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it just about any of the bookstores. Get it online from her website. But I encourage you to read the book. I encourage you to think about this, write those questions down, use that in your own training. And if you've got any questions, again, send those to me, Brian, BRIAN, at company5k. That's the number 5k.com. I'll be happy to get back to you. If you've found value in this, please share this with your friends, your family, your training partners. Whatever you do, don't go hurting yourself to come back, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. This is Brian Boyle. We'll see you.